Hi, everybody. Just popping in before the episode to give you a heads up that the audio quality in this episode isn't that great because Zoom corrupted the audio file for David's audio, which meant I had to use my backup audio for David and Natalie since it's recorded both at the same time, which means that both of them came in at the same input, which means sometimes if Natalie's a little bit louder and David's a little bit quieter, then Natalie's peaking and David's a little bit hard to hear. So that's the workaround I have for now. So I'm very sorry, but it's not too egregious, I don't think. So hopefully you can still enjoy it. Also, just a note, there is a video version of this podcast, so you can go watch it if you'd like. You can see Natalie's cool cat outfit she wore. So enjoy the episode, and we'll have better audio next time. Sorry.
Should we start?
Yeah.
No.
We should. Okay.
Yes.
So, okay, hang on. So this could be like the part before the intro. You know how like some podcasts.
David, you disconnected. No.
You know, some podcasts.
You know how some podcasts, work.
Okay, but like, come on.
Hunter,
Do you know
you're
why I did this?
frozen. Why?
Do you know why I did this? Because I wanted to prove to the world. Don't you dare, Molly. Oh my God. Stop it. She keeps trying to chew on the cord to my ring light and is therefore almost knocking it over. Anywho, so I just wanted to prove that it is totally possible to be a human being looking like a cat and not give anyone nightmares.
That's fair. It's true.
It's so easy. This took me 1 hour.
I mean, if they had done any makeup, but we'll get into that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We just got to wait for David to get back.
Seriously, David.
He's at the library.
Well, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Oh, so anyway, sorry about that. Hopefully it doesn't do that again. What I was saying, there's another person way down at the other end of the sidewalk. I don't think they're recording a podcast, but if they were, that'd be cool. It's just on our iPad. Yeah, so I don't know. This is like a popular spot now. I pioneered it, but everyone's doing it. Everyone's sitting on sidewalks outside the library using their devices because the library is not open.
Mm-hmm. You might want to turn your microphone.
Welcome to This Is a Terrible Place to Live. Okay, sorry, my bad.
You're good.
Or is this better?
That's better.
Okay, cool. Welcome to This Is a Terrible Place to Live.
Hello.
In our perfect fashion, this is a terrible intro. So welcome.
Hang on. No, I was happy with it.
That was a great intro.
I just mean like
Thank
all the stuff
you.
leading up to it, which we'll probably cut out, but like,
Aw.
it's been bad.
Me talking about the sidewalk? That was good. You don't know what you're talking about, John. John's just putting me down. And
Man.
Fortunately, I have Natalie here to support me,
Oh,
saying
yay.
that my intro is good. Thank you. We have a guest. Natalie's here.
It is me, Natalie.
She's dressed as a cat,
Hello.
but you can't see that.
Okay, but they should though.
I can, yeah, there'll be a picture.
Yeah.
Sure,
There'll
why
be a
not?
picture. Wait, how does that work?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to do the full video because we never do that, but like I get for the video version on
for
YouTube.
the YouTube? Okay.
Yeah, I can put a picture.
I dressed nice today. You can do a video. I don't know.
Yeah, do a
Okay,
video.
Cool. We'll do
Yeah.
video.
And then we could just pretend that we all just got on at the same time and they're all just saying hi. And then we'll have a
Hi.
real
And no
open.
one disconnected.
No one disconnected. And no one's cat is trying anything.
I'm not on a sidewalk. I'm in a studio with a cool like backdrop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's what these bricks are behind me.
Right.
Okay, ma'am, you're sitting with mommy. You're sitting with mommy. I don't care. You don't get to play with
Don't
this
call
is
me
Molly.
ma'am.
This
Hi,
is Molly.
Molly.
Whoa.
She decided to join us for the cats episode. Say hi, little princess. Isn't she just so cute?
Good
Mwah.
thing.
What?
Huh?
Oh no, David, you're breaking up
I'd
again.
be,
David, you're all breaking up again.
I'd be sneezing if this were in person because I'm I don't want to break up with you again.
The first one was so rough.
Yeah, I spiraled after that, to be honest. Anyway, what I was saying is I'd be sneezing if it were in person. It wasn't worth it. I'm allergic to cats.
Why
They
do I
make me go,
surround
"Achoo."
myself with people who can't enjoy cats? Like you and Bobby. We'll see.
I was telling John the other day, I don't like animals that much. I don't dislike them. They're fine.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
just,
we're gonna anger some people with that, but I get it. I get
Not
it.
that many people listen to it. The people that listen to it know me, and they'll be like, "That tracks. That makes sense." Anyway,
well, I mean, of course
with
you
that,
think
we
this is a
watched
terrible
movie about
place to
animals,
live.
so I didn't care that much.
Oh, but so you didn't have nightmares?
Well, that's not. I didn't say that.
We didn't
Okay,
we didn't officially say what we're talking about, but it's in the description, so they saw it. But I still feel
It's
like we
the
should say
title.
we're talking about Cats the musical, but just the 2019 movie.
No.
We're not talking about.
No. We are also talking about the original masterpiece.
Okay, right, but
that
what I'm saying
needs
is
to be acknowledged.
I haven't seen it, so
No, John, we're talking about the book. You didn't read the T.S. Eliot? Fool. Get out of here.
gosh, I fucking hate you.
Listen.
Unprofessional.
Cats has, and always will be my favorite musical of all time.
Oh?
Like, I do not care. I don't care if you've got a beautiful story. I don't care if it's like, you know, you got all the great songs, and I don't give a fuck. Just hit me with
It doesn't
some
even
cats,
have to.
and that's it.
It doesn't even. You said it doesn't matter if it has a beautiful story or even a story at all.
Okay,
There
no, but
wasn't
you're
one.
wrong.
But
You're wrong.
Cats shouldn't have a
has an
story.
amazing story. Cats has an amazing story. Okay,
No,
and the
it
reason that people
shouldn't.
don't understand that is because it's a story about cats, and people don't understand cats because they are highly intelligent and very complicated beings. Okay, so
Oh,
I'm
gosh.
sorry. This is
Oh boy.
I'm passionate about this topic.
So I watched Cats like a week ago. David, you watched it like this week, yeah?
I watched it last night.
Yeah, so it's fresh on your mind.
Got cats on the brain.
Cats on the brain. The number of times that they make cat puns is disturbing.
I thought when you started that sentence, I thought you were going to say the amount of times that they said jellicle. They said jellicle so many times.
That's because they're jellicle cats.
And I never knew what it meant. I just heard jellicle and I went, okay. And they never explained it.
It's a word
I
that
don't
they
know what
made up
happened.
for themselves.
Well, I mean, Amelia was saying it's supposed to sound like dear little cat. Jellicle cat, dear little cat.
Yeah. Aww.
That would be delical, but that sounds too much like deli.
Well, it's in a British accent. Dear little cat.
Ooh, the British accents in this movie were
So bad.
something.
So bad.
Like, don't get me wrong. I love Cats. Okay, I love Cats the musical, and I consider this movie a hate crime.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
It is so
oh my
awful.
gosh.
Idris Elba can't do a British accent. I mean, honestly.
And of course, my dumbass was like, I thought it was actually good. But
I didn't realize that some of them were doing British accents until Jason Derulo comes on.
But it's not consistent.
I watched
It's
this
not
movie
consistent.
with my boyfriend, and he was like, why is he doing a fake British accent? Is this set in England? And I was like, I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe.
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize it was in London till like halfway through.
But I was like, but isn't that
When they
Jason
start talking about
Derulo's
the River Thames?
regular voice? So we looked it up and watched an interview, and that's his regular voice.
He's American.
But that's his regular voice. He did not use an accent. His terrible British accent is just his regular speaking voice.
So that's why it sounded so inconsistent. Like it sounded like he like half committed to it, but then was just like, eh.
He just always talks in a terrible British accent. I don't understand.
I think that there is one recurring flaw in this movie, and it is a lack of commitment. That's it. Everything boils down to a lack of commitment. Really?
I think
for one thing, they didn't give us a butthole cut.
When Jason Derulo sang his song, he didn't say Jason Derulo.
I know. I was so mad. I was hoping that there was somewhere, maybe like even just quietly in the background, a little Jason Derulo.
Okay, but did you notice that there was a moment where you expected to hear it and no one else was singing anything else? So it's like, I feel like subliminally, they were trying to get us to say it in our mind so that it was still in the song, but not in the song, you know? It was like Pavlov's Jason Derulo.
I don't remember there being a specific spot where it felt like it should be there, but I do remember looking for one.
So the first time I saw this movie, I was with my mom and Nicole, and we were really excited. We were so excited. We went and we had a girls' night. We all got little kitty cat ears and put them on. We went, and it was just Molly, I swear to God, don't disappoint me.
Hi, David. We didn't realize you disconnected.
I didn't hear any of that. I just heard laughter and robot voices. It was terrifying. It sounded like my dreams.
Was it like watching cats again?
I'm back.
But we were so excited for it. Like we were ready. Okay. And then just to have that, and I really tried. I really desperately tried. I was like, it's okay. I mean, there's some problems, but once I got to the end of the movie, I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? Angry.
I can't wait until we get to talk about the VFX for this, because that's what I do is 3D and visual effects. And it's so exciting to me to talk about all of the terrible things they did wrong, because it's 100% an issue of the art director not giving any good direction and no QA. There was no quality control on this.
Something I didn't realize before starting this movie is that it's an animated movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's not a live action movie.
No,
it's an animated movie. Yeah. And not a good one. The animation's bad.
No, it's bad because they did.
It looks like an old video game.
They did something that they should not have done, which is they purposefully shot this with no motion tracking suits and no makeup to show how good their technology was. It was entirely to prove that they could do it.
And then it proved that they couldn't.
And then they could, they just did it very poorly. And the other people that did this recently was The Irishman. But in The Irishman, they did the facial replacements without tracking, because their actors could do better performances without having all that stuff on their face. But this movie replaces their entire body. The only thing that is left of their actual performance are their eyes, their nose, and their mouth. That's it. That's the entirety of what's left over. So there was no reason for them to not be in motion tracking suits, except for them to say that we did this without motion tracking suits, which is why the fuck would you do that? They're made for a reason.
Yeah,
I think
sorry, go ahead.
I think Tom Hooper wanted a hook, how for Les Mis, he was they sang all of it on set. It was all sung on set. It was a big boasting point for the movie, even though the singing wasn't always great.
But the singing in Les Mis sucks.
Yeah.
It was definitely a lot more palatable than Cats. Like it wasn't
yeah.
and like for a long time I was like, yeah, it's a great movie, but I feel like that's just kind of the cultiness of like the musical theater crowd, where like if there's a thing that everybody likes and you don't like it, then you're like evil.
I like the musical. I
like
just
animals.
really don't like the movie.
Yeah, see, I kind of realized that I pretty much only like the movie because it's a movie. Like the songs are like great or whatever, but like the musical itself is just kind of. And like I said, I don't care if you've got a beautiful story. I don't care if you've got like a redemption arc. Don't listen. Give me cats in Lycra. That's all I want.
Well, you did get that. So,
but it wasn't Lycra. Okay.
Okay.
Listen,
okay.
I wanted, and like, I get it. A lot of people are like, Cats is overly sexualized. Okay. But let's not forget.
They didn't remove any of that.
Yeah. But while they didn't like do the skin tight Lycra and like the, like, you know, they diminished Jason Derulo's like junk so that it wasn't as effective. But like, then why would they animate human titties on a cat? Besides all that,
why?
Besides all that, I just wanted like that sleek, almost like wet look of the Lycra with the leg warmers and the little mittens and the little earpieces, because that, like, to me is like, if a cat was to decide I want to look like a person, that's what a cat would decide to look like. Because cats are extremely sexual. Like, they just are. That's just cat psychology. They're just like, oh, I want to rub my body on you so that you know that I love you. Like, so like if you're going to do cats and you're going to sexualize them, do it right.
I mean, they made Idris Elba very buff. He took off his jacket.
Okay.
Wow.
There are some things in this movie that make me go, what the fuck were they thinking? And they all kind of relate. Okay. And the first one is, why do some cats have boobs and other cats don't? Why is it so obvious when the cat has boobs, right? Okay. Secondly, why are some cats wearing clothing and other cats aren't?
Exactly.
And then thirdly, why does one of the main characters who we've only seen in clothing show up not wearing clothing, and all of a sudden it just feels like he's naked?
Yeah,
Idris Elba shows up in like his final act and he's not wearing anything after we've seen him in this giant trench coat, and it feels like he's naked.
Like, I understand.
John, I can explain all of that.
Oh?
Okay. You said some cats have boobs, some cats don't.
Yes.
Same with people. Some people have boobs, some people don't. It's the same. I don't see your problem there. All right. Next one.
But they're not people. They're cats. So if they were going to have cat titties, they would have a row of 6.
Keep going. Keep going. I want to hear your next.
Hang on. You said some cats wear clothes, some cats don't. Some cats are nudists, John, just like people. It's just like people. And then, and then you said, why is he naked at the end? Because the whole point is he's gotta show that he's the big cat that deserves another life. I don't know. So he's trying to get Judi Dench all horny to give him another life.
No, Judi Dench only gets horny for Ian McKellen.
Ooh.
She stick her leggy out for him.
Oh yeah, she does, did. And she does a little,
she's like
leg quiver.
That hot, that real hot.
I mean, honestly,
seeing Ian McKellen in this movie made me so sad.
Okay, but
he was one of the most accurately portrayed cats.
His character is the only one that looks good for the entire movie. There are some that they look okay, and you're like, okay, that's good. But then as the movie progresses, it gets worse and worse. Jason Derulo, the one that actually goes to the Heaviside Layer, whose name I never remember.
Grisabella.
Okay,
that's what I was gonna. Cat.
Okay, anyway. Yeah, so those two, they look good in the beginning, and then as the movie progresses, they start to get this white around their mouth. And it's not there in the beginning, but as the movie goes on, there's this white stuff around their mouth. And it happens to both of them.
It's the whitewashing in Hollywood.
No, what it is that whoever did makeup was really inconsistent. And the only parts of the face that are kept on the model are around the nose and mouth and the eyes. And what happened is they had different lighting and makeup shades around the nose and eyes. This is my theory. I don't know that this is true, but this is the only thing I can come up with. And so their skin is actually lighter than their character's fur color. And instead of correcting it, they just left it. And so you've got white spots around everything.
Yeah, I mean, like, it would make sense. Like, a cat with dark fur, as they get old, they do get white around the muzzle. That is true. But then why didn't they have that consistently at the beginning? Because it's all over the course of the same night.
And they're not old cats.
I mean, Grisabella is.
Okay, but she doesn't have it at the beginning.
Right, which is why I'm saying it's wrong that it wasn't at the beginning. I didn't particularly notice that fault specifically.
It's like the main thing that was glaring to me is that in the first shot we see of her, she's not got that. And then in like the next time she comes in, she has it. And then the next time she comes in, it's lesser. And then the next time in the same scene, the same song where she's singing to all the cats, it cuts between more white around her mouth and less white around her mouth.
Huh. That is weird.
Very obnoxious.
See, that to me is not the glaring issue of this movie. The glaring issue of this movie to me is the mapping, like the mapping of like the ground on the wall.
Sizes.
No, like their feet.
Oh, their feet,
like,
they float.
They float, they slide, they don't meet the ground. It's just so weird. And it's so like obvious. Like that was the one thing that I noticed my first time watching it. I was like, it's like they're all on like a hockey table, like an air hockey table. They're just sliding around. It's weird.
And that's something, so the most technically impressive part of this musical would be the dancing, right? That's like, as a performer, that's the big focal point for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it makes the dancing worse because you're like distracted by the CG of it all. You're not even focusing on how impressive the dancers are. Like they're doing a great job.
I don't know what's
like you don't even pay attention.
I don't know what's been actually done and what's been animated. And the stuff that has been animated is so poorly animated that it doesn't feel like it actually is impressive at all. It's like, that doesn't look good. Why would I be impressed?
I know that they took a lot of care because they went through the trouble of, instead of picking like a Hollywood or like A-list actress to play Victoria, which Victoria is one of the main crimes, but we can talk about that in a second. But like they went through the trouble of hiring
let me just say, her character design
ballerina.
is the worst.
Yes, it is. And like, here's why. And this also goes back to the Idris Elba issue, right? Like, Victoria in the musical is a white cat. So it does make sense that even though they chose a woman of color to portray her, they gave her white fur, which makes sense because that is quintessential Victoria. But my issue is that like, even in the lyrics of the song, Macavity, they say Macavity's a ginger cat.
Oh yeah, yes, we noticed that too. Kind of
made him like rusty brown fur, but like I understand whitewashing or like ginger washing Idris Elba can be seen as problematic. I totally understand that. So like, but then why not give him like...
is David still there?
I don't know. David, are you alive? Did you die? I'm
back.
Yeah.
Hello, back.
Yeah. Listen, I'm sorry about all this. It's telling me your internet connection is unstable, and tell you what, so am I.
True.
So you can hear us now.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, you were talking about how the lead, she's a dancer. She's a theater dancer.
Yes, so they went through the trouble of actually hiring a real ballerina to play an important dancing part. Because that, like in the original musical, Victoria is only singing in the chorus. She does not have any songs. She does not have any solos. She barely even gets mentioned. The only important part she plays is that she is a naive young cat, and she is the one who initiates welcoming Grisabella back into the group. So like, that's the only important thing that she does. But like they went through the trouble of hiring a real dancer, and also for Skimbleshanks, they hired a real dancer, and their dancing looks great, looks fine, looks amazing. But like, then why would you also include mediocre CGI'd acrobatics where you can clearly see that they're on like rigging?
Yeah, there's a shot in the very, very first song where someone jumps, and I think they did it because they were trying to make it look like how cats land lightly, where they make his fall slow as he gets closer to the ground so that he lands gently, but it just
you can literally
looks
see the
so
harness
fake.
catch him.
It looks so fake.
Yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad. And like that's the reason why it just doesn't work as a movie, because the whole point, the whole reason why Cats is so amazing, why it was such a phenomenon when it first was produced, was because you had people at the top of their game in singing, dancing, gymnastics, and acting. Like they were the best in their class of all of those things. And that's why it is such an amazing thing to watch, because when you're watching it live and you see people flying through the air and doing these incredible jumps and twists and dance and turns and like all of that, it's so amazing because you're actually watching a human body do that. There's no rigging, there's no special effects, and they're doing that while they're singing, and it's perfect. And like when they even like they were like, oh, we filmed all the audio while we were, like they did the same thing Les Mis did. But you have these people who are like pretending to be a cat jumping off a giant bed, and you can hear them go, and it's just like, bro, why would you do that? Why would you be like, we went through all of these hoops to give you a mediocre product? You're welcome.
Can we talk about Rebel Wilson's character?
Hang on. So I was thinking, man, Rebel Wilson had a busy 2019. She was in 4 movies. She was in Cats. She was in The Hustle. She was in that one like satire of like rom-coms. Remember that?
I'm pretty sure that was 2018. Wasn't it?
No, I looked it up last night. She
was in Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, she was in Jojo Rabbit.
She was in Jojo Rabbit. She played a cat and a Nazi in the same year.
Here's the deal. I like Rebel Wilson, but she has to have good direction. If she doesn't have good direction, she's not funny at all.
Yeah, she's not a good ad-libber. Don't you dare.
What? Oh, you're talking to Molly. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
what am I going to say?
That satire one was Isn't It Romantic? That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I've seen all except for that one that she was in 2019. And she's not bad in The Hustle.
I've seen all of those movies. Yeah,
she's okay.
I liked her in Jojo Rabbit, but yeah, there were definitely times where you could tell she was ad-libbing, and it's just like...
In Jojo Rabbit, when she first showed up in the movie, I didn't realize she was in the movie, and I went, oh no, she's going to ruin this fucking movie. But then she didn't, and I was like, okay, this works. And I think it's because Taika Waititi knows how to direct people to do what he wants, to get what he wants, right? He's a good director. But then you got Tom Hooper, whose entire directing like shtick is that he puts people in a room and films them, and then says it's authentic because I put them in the room and filmed them. And you can't do that with someone like Rebel Wilson or James Corden, for that matter. And besides that, both of their characters in this movie are like fat phobic. It's so weird.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh, I mean, yes. I mean, it's kind of hard to not play Bustopher Jones as fat phobic, but they're using, and like, yes, at the expense of larger people, they are using gluttony to describe. Bustopher Jones is a very political character. Okay. He basically represents the government and how it engorges itself. And like they put on this really classy really like respectable, refined image, but behind closed doors, they're literally dumpster diving and eating garbage. So Christopher Jones is supposed to represent government, but yeah, I do agree that using fat phobia to do that is a little problematic. But Jenny Anidots, the way that she was played in the movie was just disrespectful. Like, just disrespectful. In the original musical, it is very clear that she appears to be soft and plushy and cute and cuddly, but really she's a can-do woman who gets shit done. And that's like, it has nothing to do with her size, but her size is actually seen as like a benefit because
that is not how it comes across in the movie at all.
Oh yeah, no, in the movie she seems psychotic. Like
she eats roaches.
Mentally ill.
I didn't know what the point was. In the movie, she didn't come across as anything. She came across as an underdeveloped character with no story. And I was like, who the fuck are you?
Right,
John,
because they just completely ignored what makes her Jenny Anidots and was just like, oh yeah, Rebel Wilson. I didn't pay to see Rebel Wilson. I paid to see Jenny fucking Anidots.
John, I think that could have been the thesis for the whole episode when you said, in the movie, I didn't get the point.
Yeah, well, I didn't get the point. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Okay, can I explain to you the point of the musical?
Okay.
Sure.
And why their specific artistic choices were incorrect. And this is put extremely well in the Sideways video on why Cats didn't work. Put very, very well, but I'm just going to paraphrase. So basically, you have all of the cats and they all introduce themselves and they're like, I'm me. And we're introducing ourselves because we want to get picked as the Jellicle choice to have another Jellicle life. That's the whole point of the first song, is to say, we are cats. We're going to tell our stories and get elected to die. And that's that. And then you hear everybody's I am song. You hear or somebody describing somebody else. So Munkustrap says, I vote for Jenny Anidots because she's cute as button. And then you get Rum Tum Tugger, who's like, oh, I'm me and I'm cool and everybody loves me and I am quirky. And everybody's like, oh yeah, cool. And then they introduce everybody else. And then you kind of get like, and then Grisabella walks in and everybody's like, excuse me, who invited her? And you realize that she used to be a Jellicle cat, but she is no longer. And there's not really an explanation why. And then she kind of talks about how like, and everybody just like describes her as like, she used to be kind of cute, but then we were like, ew, you're old and trash. And so then they were like, fuck off, Grisabella. And so then you meet old Deuteronomy, and he's like, I'm gonna pick a cat. And then Deuteronomy sings this song where he's like, oh, the thing that I'm looking for is someone who's lived a long life, who has lots of memories. And so that, because they've lived a full life and now they can have a new one. And so then you get introduced to Gus the theater cat. And you're like, oh, maybe he's going to pick Gus the theater cat because he's old and he's got lots of stories to tell. And then you think, oh, but maybe it'll be Magical Mr. Mistopheles because he just saved old Deuteronomy from a cavity. And then McCavity has no interest in the Jellicle Ball whatsoever. His one goal is fuck shit up. That's it. He doesn't want to be the Jellicle choice. He doesn't care. He just wants to make everybody unhappy because he's mean like that. And then, there's all this stuff happens. And then Grisabella comes out and she's like, I just want to be loved. And then, what's her name? One of the cats is like, oh, that's who Deuteronomy is looking for. So then she like encourages Grisabella to come out, sing her song. And then, no, not Victoria.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It wasn't Victoria.
Okay.
It was like Electra, something like that.
Ooh.
And her character is basically completely removed, except it's kind of who Taylor Swift plays. But
I was going to say,
wrong.
Is it Taylor Swift's cat? Because that's the only other cat I'm thinking of.
Yeah, but it's just wrong. And so then Victoria goes over and she goes to touch Grisabella. And all throughout the entire movie, every single time Grisabella has come out, all the young cats have been like, ooh, I'm going to go investigate and see who this cat is. And all the older cats are like, no, don't touch it. That's gross. But then Victoria goes to touch Grisabella right after she sings her song, and she touches Grisabella, which is literally what she was just begging for. She was literally just like, touch me, and then you'll give me the happiest thing. And so then Victoria touches her hand, and nobody stops Victoria, and she is welcomed into the Jellicle Ball, and then she is the Jellicle choice. And then old Deuteronomy is like, hey, cats aren't dogs. And that's the movie.
So really,
well, that's the play. That's not the movie. The movie isn't that at all.
So really, so really, the whole point is that it's like a little bit like when a sex offender is dying and they just want to be touched so that they can die in peace.
No. No, it's like, actually, yes. Okay, it's kind of like that. But reversed, okay? It's like a victim of sexual assault, and everybody is all like, well, you were a whore, and that's why you were sexually assaulted. And then at the very end of their life, all the young people are like, hey, she's a victim. You're all assholes. And they're like, oh, okay. Yeah.
So then they touch her? No. Oh.
They just touch her hand.
Oh, okay. Well,
because again, that's how cats show that they love you, is by physical touch. Cats are... Jeff Goldblum is a cat, okay? Because he's a very tactile person, okay? Like, I am a toucher. I like to touch things, and I like to pat people's heads and give people hugs. I'm a cat. Cats just want to just touch you. And so when a cat has gone years and years and years with never having physical touch from a member of their community, they're mega sad. They got the big sad. And then Victoria's like, I guess I'll touch this person. And then everybody's like, oh, okay.
Stop saying it that way.
Yeah, it's so weird.
I mean, because what other word that makes contact? Skin to
skin? No, that's worse. Hang on.
Grosser?
No.
There are way worse things than touch. Okay.
I can't.
Makes contact was all right. I was fine with that.
Listen, just because quarantine has given us all really, really terrible issues about physical touch does not mean that touch is a bad word, okay?
All right, guys.
COVID safe.
Hang on. I've got a segment that I'd like to call Let's Talk About That Cast. Whoa. It's like an anagram of cats.
Oh, boy, the cast.
All right. So we've got James Corden. We got Judi Dench. We got Jason Derulo. We got Idris Elba, Jennifer Hudson, Ian McKellen, Rebel Wilson, and then some Taylor Swift.
Ugh.
Yep. Okay, those are the big ones.
Can we all just? I know nobody said it yet, but that was a vanity project for Taylor Swift.
I mean, Taylor Swift's been in a lot of movies, and they're all vanity projects. I don't know what you mean. Like, I
mean, yeah, but specifically, like, she wrote the song for Victoria. They just inserted it in there, even though it does not
explains why
any
it doesn't
sense.
Sound. That's why.
Yeah, no, that's not from, and that's why it's so weird that they chose to do that, because Victoria, I guess, takes the place of the cat who welcomes Grisabella. But it doesn't make sense because she hears Grisabella talk about how, I used to have such a happy life and now I've been rejected. And she's like, oh, you think you've got it rough? I was thrown out of a car 3 hours ago and I'm still a kitten and I'm traumatized. Okay. But at least you have beautiful ghosts.
Well, that explains when that song was going on, I was like, is that Taylor Swift? It does not sound like Taylor Swift, but this sounds like a Taylor Swift song. So it could be Taylor Swift? And I was looking it up and I was like, okay, no, it's not Taylor Swift, but it sounds like Taylor Swift. It just doesn't sound like Taylor Swift singing. And I'm very confused.
They finished writing that song half an hour before they did the take that's in the movie.
Guys?
That's the lack of commitment to this production.
Guys, the amount of stars that are in this movie begs the question, what sort of dirt does Tom Hooper have on everyone in Hollywood? What was going on? Why are they in this? What's happening? Why was this movie made? What? Okay, hang on. So like we got Hooper's filmography. So he was a stage dude. He directed some stage plays. Then he started doing some dramas. He did Danish Girl. He did that United one. He did King's Speech. Then where he won his Oscar. Then he was like, now I'm going to be the musical dude. I'm going to do musicals. And everyone was like, all right, dude, cool. And then people loved Les Mis because, like you were saying earlier, the musical theater cult. And after all of that, people are like, let's see what he does next. And he's like, fucking Cats. Everyone's like, all right, dude, guess so.
Oh, and we can blame The Greatest Showman for what happened here.
We can. Oh, I love to blame The Greatest Showman.
Because The Greatest Showman was like the first like blockbuster musical.
Okay, but you can't hate on The Greatest Showman for that. Like,
yes, you can. Oh, yes, you can. It is an ableist piece of garbage.
No, it's not. I freaking love that. I freaking love that musical.
No,
okay,
no.
Here's why. Let me explain why. It's not a musical written for stage performance. It's a musical written for a movie, and so it works as a movie. Where all the other musicals that are made into movies don't work for it because that's not what they were written for. The Greatest Showman works. It's fun. It's got good songs. It's catchy. Yes, it's poppy, but it works in its format because it was written for what it is.
Oh yeah, no, my critiques for The Greatest Showman have nothing to do with the actual product. It has everything to do with the choices and how it was so fake. Like, so basically their whole thing was that like, oh, we're going to bring awareness to people with different disabilities, but they hired able actors to portray disabled people, even though they could have hired, there are so many professionally trained operatic singers who have beards, who are women, who they could have cast to play.
Oh no, okay. I have problems with that too, and I actually
stole the picture
read a lot about that.
A real life person with an incredibly rare like genetic thing, and she auditioned for the role. They took pictures of her face. They took video of her auditioning, and they CGI'd her face onto an able-bodied person and didn't pay her and did not credit her. And they lied about it and tried to cover it up by saying that they cast a different person with that same genetic disease and also not paying them, and then continuing to lie about it. And they hired, like people who had like some variation, like let's say like a little person. They hired little people, but then they CGI'd them to be smaller rather than hiring people, professional performers to play themselves. Like they just, it's an ableist piece of garbage is what it is. Like and they talked so much about how, we're bringing awareness to the disabled community when they were literally marginalizing the disabled community by representing them without paying them.
Well, that's fair. I didn't know any of that about the production.
Just one last thing before we get off of bashing Greatest Showman, because I'll hop on that anytime. I've talked at length about how I don't like that movie, but where's the story? No story. All right, let's go. So anyway, Tom Hooper, he's got a little bit of cred. He did his Oscar-winning director. Now he's a musical guy. People like the first one. So then they're like, ooh, maybe this Cats thing. So then he's able to get everyone, like people that you wouldn't even think to get. Why did he choose Jason Derulo?
I know, that's such a weird option. Like why would you ever pick Jason Derulo to act in your movie?
To be fair, Jason Derulo was one of the least offensive performances. Like his portrayal of Rum Tum Tugger was the most accurate.
Oh man,
well, I can't compare it to the play version, but I would say that his character was the most annoying outside of James Corden.
Talking about this movie sounds ridiculous. They're like, and this is when Rim Tam Tam showed up, and everyone's like, oh yeah, cool. And it sounds like okay, all right.
Listen, I'll be honest with you.
I'm upset.
The original, like, so the version that I have seen the most of is the 80s like special where they
it's
put
recorded.
up a whole bunch of cameras. Yeah. And that portrayal of Rum Tum Tugger literally set the baseline for like the kind of men that I find attractive. I just like, and it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Okay. It's not my fault. Just the long legs and the lean and the like throwing your hips around and going around. Like, no wonder I'm bisexual. No wonder. Because I've got a gorgeous man in like black lycra with like a ruff and spikes and little mittens going meow. And I'm just like,
this is a stance I've never heard before. Some people are like, no, sexuality is a choice. No, Natalie's stance is sexuality is something that happens to you when you watch Cats.
It is. And you know what? I am not ashamed to say that. And I honestly don't know how I could operate so many years of my life after having seen Cats and being like, that is my vibe. And not knowing that I was attracted to men and women. Like.
And cats.
Okay. No. I have a deep reverence for cats. Okay. Don't get it twisted. I worship cats like a religion. Okay.
Like that movie Thomasina. I thought of Thomasina a few times during this.
You have, yeah.
I haven't. What is that?
I told John about this, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned. I think it was on the So Bad It's Good episode, but it might have been something else.
It wasn't good, so I don't know why it would have been on that episode. It's like an old Disney movie about a girl who gets a cat that like finds her, but then it like chooses her. But it's all from like the cat's perspective, and it has like cat narration. Eventually, the cat dies, then goes to the Egyptian afterlife, and the goddess Bast reincarnates her. And then she's hanging out with like this lady that everyone thinks is a witch who lives out in the woods, but she isn't a witch, but like everyone hates her because of it. And I think it's set in Scotland maybe because they play bagpipes at one point. And then,
why do I feel like I've heard this, but in a book form?
It might have been a book. I don't know. My mother and sisters watched this a lot when I was little. It was annoying. There's a bunch of kids who they try and have like a funeral for her, but then like they start seeing her around. They're like, wait, is that Thomasina? And then there's like a traveling circus that tries to like steal one of the kids, I think. And there's a bear.
There's a bear.
Yeah. Anyway, I was reminded of it. This is a cat thing.
Yeah. No, I think actually I
read that, but it's
reincarnation.
A book.
That we talked about it on the problematic franchises from our childhood episode.
Oh, yeah. What was going on in that one? Oh, they were rude. They had some traveler stereotypes, I guess. I don't know.
I think it was just because it was weird to you that there was like Egyptian afterlife in your Catholic home.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, my mom was weirdly fine with that.
Yeah, well, I mean, there can be the argument
interesting.
The fact that, Christianity and Catholicism basically just ripped off of everybody else's religion. But I mean, we're not getting political here.
Where? Oh, yeah. There's a crazy cast and this crazy cats.
Yes. I also do want to talk about Idris Elba and the directing choices.
Let's talk about him.
Okay.
Hang on.
Idris Elba.
He can just disappear. I didn't know that whenever he showed up at first, and then he just started disappearing.
He's not supposed to.
And then I was like, whoa, is he the only one that can do this? And then later, other people can do it. I was like, whoa, wait, hang on. Mr. Mustafli, you can disappear too? And then, wait, he can make people appear? I don't know what's happening.
No,
And that effect is so bad.
no.
It's such a bad effect.
It's so bad, and I just don't. I can't make it make sense, because here's the thing:
the effect isn't bad. The effect is cheap. The effect is bad because of how expensive it is.
Is special because he's magical, Mr. Mistopheles. McCavity is not magical. He's supposed to be like this mastermind criminal who's just really good at getting away with things. Like his whole song is about how he commits all these crimes and everybody knows that it's him, but you'll never catch him because he's so quick and clever.
He's not there.
Yes, but it's not because he can go meow. Like, no.
It's so weird to me that he says meow and then is gone. I hate that so much.
He goes meow. No. No. What the fuck? Like, why? No, it's he.
Imagine Idris Elba's agent coming up to him being like, okay, so you didn't get James Bond. However, we got something that we think might be up your alley.
James Bond, but a cat?
Like an alley cat almost?
No, and it just doesn't.
Have you seen Into the Spider-Verse, that Nicolas Cage role? We want you to do that.
If they had told Idris Elba to act like Idris Elba, but to just throw a little bit of cat in there, it would have been perfect. Okay, because McCavity is like dark and mysterious and like evil, not goofy. He's not a goofy animated villain.
The number of times that they use "cat got your tongue" or "perfect" or there's so many meow in different things.
Or meow.
It's so egregiously bad, terrible writing, and I'm sure that's not Andrew Lloyd Webber's fault.
No, there is practically no dialogue.
Yeah, I was assuming.
Yeah, because the main character doesn't speak until like 40 minutes into the movie. And you're like, whoa, she talks.
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
Victoria.
But Victoria's not the main character.
She is the main character of the movie, though.
She's not
of the movie. She is the main character, and she didn't speak until 40 minutes in. Yeah, and it was crazy.
Also, she's the ugliest looking designed cat.
I would disagree. I mean, listen. Here's the issue, okay? Because
her head is so disproportional.
This is how the cat should have looked. It should have looked like a triangle. But instead, they did. What? That doesn't even look kind of like a cat. This is a cat. It's
for audio, since most of this is audio only. Natalie's moving her ears closer together on her head and farther away because she's wearing cat ears that move.
Yeah,
I'm also wearing sparkly tights and a skirt, and this is a leotard. Okay, if you thought I wouldn't commit to this,
I wasn't thinking about it at all. It wasn't a doubt. It was just a not thought.
Yeah, that's like my whole life. I don't know what that
means. Back to Idris Elba briefly.
So anyway.
What was I going to say? I had some thought about Idris Elba in this movie, and I'm blanking on it.
Okay. His eyes look bad.
I mean, everything about him looks bad.
Yeah. Except his buff muscles, he looks jacked.
Oh, but also he can't dance. Like, that's, I think, the first time I've seen someone who's a worse dancer than Taylor Swift. Like, that's the only time that I've seen Taylor Swift not be the worst dancer on a stage. Only time.
Oh, I was going to say, it's very clear that McCavity is supposed to be the stereotypical like tomcat, like an orange cat that just really likes to fight other cats. Like it's a typical Garfield, okay? Like Garfield's a bitchy cat and it's it's normal for people to know this like stereotypical orange cat that doesn't get along with other cats and fights them and then disappears off into the woods, right? Like that's a typical stray cat. But he doesn't act that way at all. Everyone's just kind of like, oh, he's there, let's not talk to him. And then he just kind of goes, I'm evil. Bye. And he's not even orange. He's like brown.
Yeah, he's like rust colored, which I guess
his color changes.
I mean, let's be fair. Brown is just dark orange, okay? But
like, I mean, I can see that there's like a red tint in it, but like, he's not a ginger cat.
Right. He's supposed to be a ginger cat.
So in his song, they sing about how he's done every human crime. I want to watch that movie. I want to watch him commit. I want to see the cat committing tax fraud. I want to see him drop a moose out of an airplane in whichever state you can't drop a moose out of an airplane.
It's a live moose. Dead moose is fine.
Yeah.
But that also means that he has committed every human crime. So that includes necrophilia.
Bestiality, but it's okay. It's a cat.
But not if it's not with another cat.
Oh, he was fucked by a human.
I don't like this conversation anymore.
No. He fucked a human. He was not the victim. He was the
he committed the crime.
Can you imagine what poor
hang on. Dogs do that all the time, and we let them off the hook. And I know a cat is not a dog, but in this circumstance, it's 1-to-1.
Look, I'm just going to say now.
Listen, the only appropriate victim for that particular crime is Shane Dawson. Let's flip the script.
It'll be the sequel to The Death of Dick Long.
Oh my God, no.
I just want to see Shane Dawson do a documentary about how he's overcome being victimized by a cat played by Idris Elba.
I just want to see a movie where Idris Elba is the only character that is a cat and everyone else is a human, and he's the size of a cat, and he's walking around like murdering people and like robbing banks and shit, the size of a cat, but still anthropomorphic.
But it's not like a real cat that has
no. It's his character
Idris
from
Elba,
Cats.
smaller, looking kind of like a cat, but the worst version of a cat.
It's his character from Cats, but just next to a human that is the proportionate size, and he's just walking around committing crimes.
It's the edgy reboot of Stuart Little. Also, hang on. Can we talk about the scale of this movie? The scale
changes a lot.
You're like, whoa, these are some big cats. You're like, these cats are very small.
Yeah, I thought, wasn't it compared to, like, I guess what they compared it to was that lion. So those cats compared to that lion, which is a real statue, would have been 3.5 feet tall. Standing up. So they would have been the size of a dog.
Yeah, that's really
And
tall.
they're not a dog. They're not dogs. That's the moral of the story.
Oh, Rebel Wilson's character has a collar.
Uh-huh.
And in that final scene, there's a shot of her with the collar. They go to the people on the statue of the lion, and then they cut back to a shot with her, and she's not wearing the collar anymore. It's just gone. It's just gone.
Huh. I need to take a brief recess for just a moment. If you will give me just a minute.
All right. I love recess. You can have some recess. John, we're going to keep talking about some stuff because we gotta keep talking.
Yes.
All right. We'll save James Corden talk for a little bit later.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Ian McKellen being in this movie made me so upset.
But he's actually decent. Like, his part's not bad.
See, it made me feel bad that he's in this movie because he deserves better, you know?
That's fair.
Like, I don't care that Jason Derulo's in this movie. Who cares? Taylor Swift, do what you want, you know? But
I honestly don't care that Judi Dench is in this movie either.
I don't care that Judi Dench is in this movie. But, like, hearing the voice of Gandalf come out of a sad cat makes me so upset.
I didn't mind it so much. I thought that he understood the characters. Like maybe he understood like the musical and liked it and knew what was going on enough for it to not be super sad. Like, and his character design is one of the best ones.
Something that I thought while watching the movie that I'll bring up now because why not? Old Denturonomy. I thought that. The scene on the boat was my least favorite scene when James Corden vomited on someone.
He did that? I forgot.
Yeah, he like puked up a hairball on someone to get off that boat. And right after Rebel Wilson took off her skin and had clothes underneath.
That's I keep forgetting to mention that Rebel Wilson's like weird zipper skin.
Which is it's stolen from Looney Tunes Back in Action.
That's yes, but like also what the fuck?
And also I guess like Mission Impossible, like the take off the face and then you've got another face underneath.
Okay, but why is she wearing a bikini over her body, underneath of her body? It's the same body.
No, she saw Looney Tunes Back in Action. She liked it, and she thought, I'm going to do that. And then she did. And that's fine. I mean, I guess good for her.
But
Natalie, we're talking about how Rebel Wilson takes off her skin and then she has another skin underneath it. And she stole that from Looney Tunes Back in Action when Bugs Bunny does that. And then underneath, he's Michael Jordan. And then he's Martin Short. And then he's Bugs Bunny again. No, he's like, he changes a lot into lots of...
So actually, that's incorrect. That's actually from the original show.
Why?
Yeah. So in the original show, she's wearing this. It's so cute. Okay. So she's wearing like this. It kind of looks like kind of suede-y, but like really like, so it's like hoops, like those like Chinese paper lanterns.
Mm-hmm.
How it's like rings, it's like circles and they can kind of like bungee a little bit. So it's that, but it's round and it's like, totally covered in like fur and it kind of looks like a coat, but then they do like a whole like tap dance sequence and they take it off her. She steps out of it and she's in this like kind of fringy, sparkly kind of tiger and leopard striped jazz number. So it's like she's like taking off her outer coat and
I thought
it's basically like she looks like she's fat and round, but it's just that she's super fluffy and underneath all that fluff she's like a can-do flapjack woman.
That makes more sense than in the movie. I feel like they don't really there's no reason for it to happen. I'm very confused as to why.
There is no reason.
I thought she killed another cat and was wearing her skin.
That's a valid idea. Okay, I wouldn't put it past them.
I like to think that either one of two things happened when they decided to do that. This is before having heard that it was from the musical. I thought either they'd seen Looney Tunes Back in Action and they're like, that's going to be in our movie. Or Taylor Swift was on set and she was like, hey, did y'all see that video that I did for the song where it's like, you should have said no. And I was wearing like the baggy, like the sweatpants and like the sweatshirt. And then I took it off and I had a dress underneath. I want y'all to do that. And then Tom Hooper was like, we're contractually obligated to do what you say. And
I suspect that has a lot to do with why this movie is terrible.
Okay, but I don't want to brag too much on like Taylor Swift because she does understand music videos. Her music video for The Man is really good. It's really well done. She directed that. And she's ripping
off the Killers. They have a song called The Man First.
But it's really well done. It's really, really good. And I think that she understands music videos. But the problem I have with most musicals that have come out in like the last 3 to 4 years is that they try to be music videos strung together.
Yeah.
And it's
The Greatest Showman
awkward.
doesn't do that though.
No, The Greatest Showman does that. It was
No, that's what I'm saying.
it was my complaint when walking out of that movie was that it felt like a bunch of music videos strung together.
Yeah, I that does make sense. That I agree with that.
It's just weird, and also like it really feels like that when with her part when she comes down with the catnip, and it's like,
oh yeah, that's just first of all just a chemical misunderstanding of how catnip works. Okay.
I don't have any understanding of how catnip works, to be honest.
I'll be happy. Catnip works by exciting the cats, and they go into a temporary state of hyper excitement. It's kind of like they drop acid for a little bit. They can see everything a whole lot clearer, and they're able to like be stimulated by things that would not normally interest them. So they'll play with things and they'll jump around and they'll get all their energy out. And then they can take a nice fat nap, because when cats are unhappy, it's because they can't express all the pent up just anxiety in their body. So they have to get all of that out and get all their energy out. And then they can take a nice relaxing nap. And then you have a happy cat. So putting catnip on a group of cats that are in the middle of a cat orgy would do the opposite of putting them to sleep.
I'll be honest. I didn't fully realize that's what had happened. I was like spaced out for most of this movie, just like, whoa, what's happening?
I didn't even mention the fact that Jason Derulo randomly gets shoes at one point.
Does he?
Yeah, he just randomly has shoes in the ball when they're in the ball and he's dancing for Deuteronomy.
Okay, so going into this movie, I knew nothing. I didn't know I knew nothing about this movie. I knew some things. I was a baby,
with like 17-year-old me, you were subjected to a lot of listening to cats if you were in my presence.
I don't remember that. I don't remember the cats.
Yeah, that's what trauma does. You block it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember you ever playing cats for me. I just remember you telling me that you love cats.
I think, yeah, we were all aware that the cats was around, but like, you were very nice about it. You didn't force it upon us.
I didn't, because you didn't deserve it.
Is that wait, hang on. Was that a dig on me, or was that
I can't tell if that's like you don't deserve it, or it's like you don't deserve it. Like
you wouldn't appreciate it, so you were undeserving of the glory of knowing that.
Okay. Well, this feels like a personal attack.
It is.
Okay. So going in, I didn't know what this musical was. And I guess I still don't, because I saw the movie. But I didn't realize it was basically Britain's Got Talent. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Britain's Got Talent.
And per the usual, the one with the sobbiest story won.
Yeah. Gotta say, none of their numbers were good. I don't think Simon Cowell would have been having it. Simon Cowell would have been like, get out of here.
Skimbleshanks is a fucking bot.
I was trying to remember his name. Skimbleshanks is good. His song is good. I like his song.
Wait, hang on. Is he
the Railway Cat?
The Railway Cat.
Skimbleshanks, the Railway Cat.
I hated that transition. Hang on. We got to talk about the transition there, where it was just like, wow, now they're on railroad tracks. How did they get there?
Okay, yeah,
why is
the
it
visuals
old Deuteronomy
weird
here? While you were gone, Natalie, I said old Deuteronomy, and I thought it was really
good. Wait, I have a question. Why is old Deuteronomy not the cat that gets to go to the Heaviside Lair?
Because it's Deuteronomy's responsibility to make that choice.
So what you're saying is Deuteronomy is the one who gets to kill the cat that dies.
Deuteronomy is like the perfect like ruler or governor, because everything that Deuteronomy does not serve him or herself. Everything that Deuteronomy does serves her constituents, which is what a leader should do.
Is old Deuteronomy the same Deuteronomy from the Bible? Because she is very old, so it could be.
No.
Okay. I just had to ask.
It's just. Listen, the naming of cats is.
It's a name.
We don't.
It's
need
a
to
name
talk
that's
about it.
deep inside themselves. We know. We know.
We get it.
Yeah.
There's 3 names. We only heard 2 for every cat, but there are 3 names. We get it.
There's a
the
third
family name.
Because we're people.
There's their family name. There's the name that they choose for themselves, their real name, and then there is their true name. Okay, and that is the name that they keep to themselves. That is their soul's name.
I've got that too. I got a true name. Y'all won't get to hear it.
Then why mention it?
The closest thing.
Y'all don't get
Drop
to know.
the at.
The closest thing I have to a true name is my persona's name, but that's not. That's not true name. That's just the one I chose for.
That's your chosen name.
I don't know. That's weird.
You know.
No. I don't like it. It's confusing.
My chosen name is Phil.
What?
My chosen name is Chunder Queen.
I just chose Phil just now, if you couldn't tell.
I could.
Yeah, no. But what is my true name?
Don't tell us. You can't.
The birds in the background are a nice
Man,
touch.
I just found out how to occupy so much of my time.
Coming up with your true cat name?
No, my true name.
Your true.
As I said, my chosen name is Chunder Queen.
So
But
then,
what
wait,
is
hang on.
my true name?
Okay.
Huh.
There's so much lore that I don't think matters at all. So much of this movie is just explaining things that I'm not going to remember. And it's just like, all right, cool.
But speaking of Skimble Shanks, let's talk about the good parts of this movie.
Mm.
Okay, Skimbleshanks is a pretty good song. It's a good song.
Yes. Jennifer Hudson's performance of Memory was really, really good. Really fantastic.
Of all the songs, that one was a bit of a banger. That one was pretty good.
It's okay. I wasn't a fan. I really like Ian McKellen's part in this. I think he's the best designed cat, and I think he has the most. I think he put the most into actually trying to play a decent character, whereas everyone else was like not trying to play a cat.
Forget that one little clip where he goes meow meow meow. Like that's just
He's
my
cute.
favorite part.
I like him.
Yeah, but I mean, and it's like that's really the only like 3 good things about this movie: Grisabella, Skimbleshanks, and Gus the theater cat.
Yeah.
Skimbleshanks, the
railway.
cat.
It's so
very
good.
Catchy. It's the only song I remember.
Well, you don't remember Never Was There Ever a cat so clever as Magical Mr. Mistopheles?
Nope.
Yes, but I mean,
I don't remember the tune.
The way that they paced that song was just stupid.
It was like a boss fight in a video game. They're like, he's going to fail 3 times, but then he's going to get it the last time.
And also, this is why I take so much issue with like different choices of how they changed the story. Like, why on earth did they have like a little romance between Victoria and Magical Mr. Mistopheles? Everybody knows that it's a bromance between Rum Tum Tugger and Magical Mr. Mistopheles.
Yeah, there was the moment where they almost kissed, and then I thought, wait,
but it's
what?
just what? No.
Oh,
no!
In the final scene when she's giving her "cats are not dogs" speech, and they're like singing on top of the lion.
5 minutes?
For 5 minutes. When they're singing on top of the lion, you can see the guy who plays Magical Mr. Mistopheles look over to make sure that they're still supposed to be doing the thing. And then he looks back like, we're still here. And he's like listening to her talk. And he's doing the theater kid thing of trying to make it look like he's very focused on the conversation. And it's so funny. If you just watch his face, it is so funny how terribly hard he's having focusing on what's going on.
Are you sure you're not mistaking Monkey
I
Strap?
mean-
Because that's who I'm always watching at that. Because I've seen
They
this
both
movie
do it. They both do it.
5 times by choice.
They both do it.
Because I hate myself, and because I hate myself, and also one time because I was on acid, and that was a fucking trip.
So I struggled to get through it yesterday. The only reason that I was able to finish it was because I knew I had to do it for today. I was like, I'm gonna push through. I'm gonna be a gosh darn hero, and and I did it. And it took monumental amounts of effort. It was the most boring movie I've ever watched all the way through.
Yeah, I've chosen to watch it 5 times.
It was fun to make fun of while watching
Well,
it.
see, I was watching it alone.
Yeah, but don't do that.
Riff on it to people.
See, even if I'm by myself, I've still got Ambrosia and Molly. And if I've smoked enough, I'll be like, you looking at this shit. Ooh. Like, it's really enjoyable under the right circumstances.
Oh, Molly's
It's
your cat.
really enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
not Molly.
Okay. I thought you meant Molly.
Oh, but I should though. I'm gonna.
So anyway, it's time for another segment. It's called Let's Make Fun of James Corden.
But I don't hate James Corden.
James Corden is a hate crime.
He's the worst part of every movie he's in.
No,
He
no,
is,
he's
though.
in my favorite movie, Begin Again. And I honestly, if I were to choose a late night host that I would just consistently choose, it's James Corden.
Not Conan?
No,
Conan's the best, obviously.
Conan's voice.
Or even friggin' John Oliver. Like,
Like,
Oh,
okay,
John Oliver is
John
pretty good.
Oliver is fine, but like sometimes he takes everything. Like, I just don't want. There's so much information, and he goes through it so
I'd
quickly.
even
so
choose
in-depthly.
Jimmy Fallon over James Corden.
I
Really?
would too. I would too. Not gonna lie.
If someone says that their favorite late night host is Jimmy Fallon, I want to punch them in the face.
Oh yeah, me too.
Like,
I don't have a favorite late night talk show host. I hate all of them.
I
But
like
Jimmy Fallon
personally-
is the most bearable.
No. Jimmy Fallon is the least bearable.
No,
okay?
Jimmy Kimmel is the least bearable.
Jimmy Kimmel is way more bearable than Jimmy Fallon.
No, fuck no.
Absolutely. First of all, I like James Corden because of his interactions with everybody on set. Like, especially with the way that, like, you know, they have to film in quarantine. He makes a point to address everybody, even like cameramen, the directors, the writers who are just observing. Like, it's not like the whole, oh, they don't exist, pretend they don't exist. It's like, hey, we're all here. Let's all talk about it. You're my audience. I'm talking to you. I am performing for you guys. Like, and the way that he interacts with everybody on his team, it's just really nice. And it's really refreshing.
I think that the thing that I don't like about James Corden and Jimmy Fallon is they don't seem like they're actually nice. They seem like they're acting nice. It seems like a big performance.
No, I actually think that both Jimmy Fallon and James Corden are actually nice people. That's the vibe I get from them. I don't get that vibe from Conan. And
I think the thing is Conan, he doesn't try to act like really earnest, which I appreciate. It's a very like cynical.
But he's so
take on,
neurotic. Like, yes, it's funny, and yes, I enjoy Conan, but there's just so much.
I like his show specifically because he has really good taste in stand-up comedians. So he has so many like people that I like on.
That's true. He
is
really
true.
does understand stand-up. I would
he really
say that
does.
as far as like comedy goes, Conan's probably one of the funniest. But as like personalities go, I don't really appreciate Conan very much. But like James Corden, I think he's probably a nice guy in real life. I think he's probably a very genuine person. I just really fucking hate everything I've ever seen him in. Just
he's
with
a
a passion.
horrible actor. Horrible.
And like
he just plays himself in everything.
But
look, let me tell you why I got it. This is the real reason why I've got a soft spot.
He plays like a caricature.
It's because he looks like my dad and he acts like my dad. And I just want to believe that my dad is a late night talk show host. Okay? And you can't tell me I'm wrong.
He does not look like your father.
He does.
He doesn't.
He does. They both have kind eyes and little button noses and nice smiles.
So when we were briefly talking about this last night before I shut it down, I made the statement that I hate him for ruining Peter Rabbit because Peter Rabbit was a big part of my childhood. We'd watch like the old animated Beatrix Potter. We'd read the books. And then like he just ruined like the spirit of Beatrix Potter and made it into like this. Well, I blame him entirely. He was the director as well, but like I associate him with that horrible movie and like this is disrespectful to like Beatrix Potter's legacy in a way, you know? I don't know. It made me upset watching that movie with my sister, but she loves it. She thinks it's hilarious.
I enjoyed it and I watched it as an adult by myself by choice. There was not a child there. I watched it for fun. But I will say that probably a lot of it was just like all of the times that Daddy Gleason would like grab one of the animals and like throttle it.
Daddy Gleason?
Ooh. Daddy Gleason would be Brendan Gleason, their father.
No.
Oh gosh. No. You cannot.
Like, have you ever seen those TikToks where they're like, what's wrong with me?
Hot.
You're going to tell me he's not?
He's not.
Oh, also, I was
respectfully, shut the fuck up. He is gorgeous.
I was told that his name is Donal Gleason when I was in Ireland. They said, you're saying it wrong. It's Donal Gleason. And I said, okay.
No, it's Daddy Gleason.
I guess you're not saying Donal wrong.
It's that one ginger fucker that's in everything.
And he's good. He's really good in About Time.
So good.
He's really good in Ex
I
Machina.
love that movie.
Ex Machina. Yeah. He's not great in Star Wars. I will say that. He's fine.
He's good in Harry Potter.
What else is he in?
I'm just here to glare at you. He's fine in Ex Machina, but he's not hot in Ex Machina.
Okay, Ex Machina, the cast is doing great things all the way around. Oscar Isaac, Donal Gleason, Alicia Vikander, they're all doing great.
Yeah, stick them in Star Wars and they're not anymore.
That's because the directors and the writers of the new Star Wars movies committed.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac is talented.
I like Oscar Isaac.
With the Coen brothers
in
and
some things. Okay. He's fine in Llewyn Davis.
Oh no, he's great in that. Don't even.
Well, that's what I said. He's fine. And
trying to spell his name to look up his. Oh, there it is. Okay. I haven't seen Mother, which he is in.
That's on my list. I haven't seen it.
He was good in Brooklyn, hitting on Saoirse Ronan.
He was in this. He was in this show that I watched with that other chick who's also gorgeous, where they get on a train.
Ooh, he's in The Little Stranger, directed by Lenny Abramson, who did Room.
He was in an episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
He was the Groa Man.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And
he was in A Futile and Stupid Gesture, which wasn't great, but it was pretty good, and he was really good in it.
He's an American Made? What?
Haven't seen it.
American Made. I like American Made. It's a good movie.
Oh, I have to plug my phone in.
I don't have maids because I'm not rich like you, John. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to berate John for not liking Donal Gleason. He's a good actor.
I don't think he's a bad actor. I just don't particularly care for him. He's all right. And also, I don't think he's hot. That's the main thing. Not hot. Don't get it.
That's out of my wheelhouse. That's for y'all to discuss.
Yeah. Well.
I don't even have a wheelhouse, to be honest.
Okay.
What is a wheelhouse?
Listen.
What's a wheelhouse? Glisten.
It's a house with wheels. Okay, and I have to take my headphones off because I have to plug my phone in because why did they get rid of the headphone jack? I don't know.
Your
house with wheels is just a camper.
Listen.
Yes.
There is something about a man that is stretched out and just a long, skinny noodle man.
Quit hitting on me.
With look, I mean, do you want me to say I think you're ugly, or do you want me to say that yes, you do fit into the parameters of what I would consider my type for men?
Please don't comment on my appearance. I'm uncomfortable.
I'm not commenting on your. Listen, I don't think you're ugly, David. I don't think you're ugly.
I told you not to comment. Wow, gosh.
And you don't know what to do, okay? You're not my dad.
Oh,
and anything that I'm saying is a cat call because I am a cat. So
hang on. Did we talk about Ian McKellen getting catcalled that he just casually brought up in there? And then I was like, whoa, Ian McKellen's getting catcalled? 4 times. Was it 4 times? It was a lot.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He can still get it.
At the end of his song, he talks about all the cat calls that he got. It was accolades for his show.
Yeah.
But they were cat calls. And I thought, oh no, Ian McKellen, poor guy. Sorry you had to go through that. Stop cat calling Ian McKellen.
Ethan gets sexually harassed while he's working way more than I've ever been sexually harassed. Like ever. Like once a week, once every 2 weeks, Ethan will come home and be like, well, another man offered instead of paying me to go behind deer and receive stuff.
Daniel, just so you know, because you're the only one who listens who doesn't know Natalie, Ethan is Natalie's husband.
Yes. Yes,
that
is
correct. Daniel.
Good to remember that we might have people listening to this who don't know us.
That is true. I just assume that everyone worships me, so I mean.
And all you other strangers, just so you know, Ethan's Natalie's husband.
Yeah,
that is true.
For our one listener in South Korea.
Weren't there people in India that were listening?
Mm-hmm. We have people all over, and by people I mean one person in different countries. That I'm like, who the fuck are you?
We're like that one song, "Area Codes" by Ludacris. We got people all over.
Well, I mean, I did tell my dad that I was going to be on a podcast. My dad really loves podcasts, so my dad will listen to this.
Cool.
Oh, hi, Mr. Hughes.
Yeah. And yes, Dad, I do think you look like James Corden, and I consider that a good thing.
I don't think you look like James Corden, and I also consider that a good thing.
I can see it a little bit.
Respectfully, I am your daughter, so therefore my opinion holds more importance and validity.
All right. Okay, so we've trash talked James Corden. We've talked about whether or not we think Donald Gleason is hot.
He is.
He's not.
I think that's related.
We've talked. I think we've covered all the important stuff. Really, what it comes down to at the end of the day is a cat isn't a dog.
Yeah, a cat is not a dog.
And I didn't think that beforehand, but now I definitely don't think that. Because Judy
think you're missing the point.
I
think you're missing the point. And the point is that a cat is not a dog. Can we just get that into your dumb skull, please?
I was confused. I thought a cat was a dog.
Look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes and repeat after me. A cat is not a dog. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, but first, your memory, I'll jog and say a cat is not a dog.
See, I keep seeing these cats running around where in Natalie's screen, and I'm like, man, those are some bad dogs. And then little did I know, they're not dogs. Whoa.
I actually thought that Molly and Ambrosia would make more of an appearance. Molly, actually, Ambrosia has wings because she's an angel. I got her some wings
They're meant for a dog, but they were on clearance, so I got them.
Natalie, you're forgetting that a cat is not a dog.
But they didn't say cats aren't angels.
Is an angel a dog, though?
No. Dogs don't go to heaven.
All dogs go to heaven. That's the name of the movie. Don Bluth told me so.
Actually, yeah, and all cats go to hell.
Don Bluth told you the name of the movie was All Dogs Go to Heaven?
Sitting at Lucifer's grand feast with all of the cats in the universe around me, and I'm so glad I'm not going to heaven. I'm just going to be in hell with a whole bunch of cats, and it's going to be glorious.
I can't hear half of what you guys say, to be honest, because my internet keeps breaking up.
Oh dear.
I'm just guessing.
She said she's happy to go to hell to be with cats.
Yeah, because dogs go to heaven, cats go to hell. So I'm going to hell with all the cats.
And
I'm excited about it.
Hedgehogs go to purgatory. That's what the catechism says.
Come here.
So on that note, let's get into the rankings. What?
Okay, so and Natalie, I don't know if you got around to the hearing ones where we started doing the rating system or not.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so then you're aware. Just to clarify, we are rating the movie, not the musical, since neither David or I have experience with the musical.
Well, y'all are rating the movie. I'm rating the book.
Right. Yes, my bad. David's rating the book. We're rating the movie.
I mean, but just wouldn't it make sense for us all to rate on the one thing that we've all seen?
Okay, fine. I'll rate the movie. Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You're not allowed to be a hipster around here, David. It's outlawed.
But that's what. Okay, I do it everywhere.
Okay.
So it's 0, 1, or 2. 0 being don't watch it. 1 being watch it if you want, whatever. 2 being you have to see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm going to go with 2 because I think it's culturally important. I think it's important for people to recognize exactly why we have the coronavirus, and it's because of how much of a crime this movie was. I firmly believe that this movie caused the coronavirus pandemic.
It's God sending his wrath for. It's like the Tower of Babel.
Kind of. Yeah. We have to be punished. Because really, at the end of the day, we're all responsible for the fact that this movie exists. Okay,
we didn't protest enough.
No,
it wasn't. We could have done like Sonic the Hedgehog, and we could have made them change their ways. But
we tried to make the animation less of a fever dream. But really, it's just they thought that this is what we wanted. So something about what we've been doing as a society convinced the directors that we would want this.
We needed to march on Tom Hooper's house, but we didn't. We didn't organize.
Not to blame the victims, which is all of us, but really we are the perpetrators. Okay.
Okay. So I was planning on watching this movie before we decided to do it for the podcast, just out of like morbid curiosity. Everyone had told me it's not even like fun to watch bad. It's just bad. And they were right. So to people that were like me, who were like, I'll watch it just for the laughs. There aren't any laughs. Be warned, do not watch it. It's a waste of your time.
So is that a 0 from you, David?
That is a 0.
Okay. Yeah, I also give it a 0 because I cannot in good conscience suggest that someone subject themselves to this horrible experience.
Yeah.
I don't, it's a don't watch. Like, you're not missing anything.
I mean, I guess maybe my feelings are a little bit skewed because I'm like a masochist and I like suffering, or at least I guess that's what I've told myself because that's my permanent state.
It's a franchise, if you want to call it that, of something that you like. It's a property that you already have feelings for. So watching it maybe is even if it's terrible, you still get something out of it. If you're not interested in cats, then don't watch it.
Yeah, but I mean, also, it's just like, if ever you're like thinking like, man, shit just couldn't get worse, then you just watch the movie, and for a moment it is worse, and then the movie's over and everything seems so much better because you're not still watching cats.
I will say, when it ended, I thought, man, I'm so happy this is over. I was very happy when it ended.
See?
I was like, this is a nice feeling. I can get used to this. Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's just like you do it for the come up afterwards. You're like,
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
You
still don't do it. Still
you're
don't
able
do
to
it.
feel all of that rage that's been building inside of you, all the rage, all the anger, all of the frustration at life. And it just can't be kept at bay because you're so angry at this movie. So you just spill all your negativity onto the movie. And then afterwards, it's like you've just taken a rejuvenating bath. And the toxic part of you that wanted to watch Cats before you started the movie is now dead.
Even with your 2, with both of us giving it a 0, the score for this movie is 0.6 repeating, which means the score is 0.666, and that is very appropriate. Don't watch this hellish movie.
But
The
wait,
cats are from
Molly
hell,
and
like you
Rosa
were
get a
saying.
vote, right? They're
No.
here.
No.
They're cats. They're actually the authority on this topic.
Listen, that would be.
Unless your cats can come up to the screen and in their own voices say numbers, they don't get a voice.
Okay, give me a second.
She's trying to rig the election, just like Joseph Biden.
Joseph Biden.
Come here.
I'm here.
The filthy Dems. Jeez.
Okay. Big time.
The fact that you're in public right now makes this very...
If someone walked by with me just sitting on a sidewalk going, the filthy Dems.
Okay, Molly, what's your rating?
Okay, Molly, what's your rating? What's your rating, Molly?
Molly, what's the rating?
This is some good audio content.
What do you 1. See, she voted. She gave it a 1.
She didn't.
She
not-
did.
She gave it a 1, which is watch it if you want to. So it's not even like
That only raises the score to hold on. I don't have the math. 0.75.
we still don't even get to a 1, which is a watch
Okay,
it if
hold
you
on. Let me
want
get
to.
Ambrosia. Ambrosia, come here. Come here. Come here. Wake up. Come here. She's too lazy.
She would have given it a 0 anyway. We know her.
Even if she had given it a 1, it still would have been a 0.8. So I think the best answer is 0.666. Don't watch this movie unless you want to burn in hell.
Can I just say, okay, but I do want to burn in hell, though.
Okay, well then watch the movie. I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay, hang on, John. You're not allowed to say that because your score wasn't watch it if you want to. Your score was don't watch it.
So loud. They heard you get political.
Okay, yeah, I'm just saying.
They're talking about Joseph Biden rigging the elections.
I like the way you keep saying Joseph Biden.
See, I like calling people by their names, but not the way that they go by them. I think it's very funny. For instance, Robert Evans from Behind the Bastards, he's Bob Evans.
It's good. It's real good.
See, I really don't like when people do that because I use like my legal name is Natalia, but I've never ever been called that, not even by my parents.
Ooh, I'm gonna start.
No, you're not.
I call
You
Mickey
want to know
Mouse.
how I know? You want to know how I know? Because people don't think about me when I'm not there. So you're gonna forget like by tomorrow.
Well, next time I see you, I'm gonna think
You're gonna forget.
Natalia.
You're gonna forget.
I say Michael Mouse instead of Mickey Mouse.
I am manifesting that you're gonna forget.
You know, Natalie, I actually was thinking about the fact that your name is Natalia all of last week. I don't know why. It was just on my mind.
Because you hate me?
No, that's definitely not why.
Because it's Natalie. Like I really have tried to let people call me Natalia, but I don't know. It's not my, like, I won't respond to it. Like it
feels like if you have the name Natalia, you must be Russian. And you have to be a dancer.
No, that's Natasha. Natasha is the Russian form of Natalie.
No, Natalia still feels Russian.
No one talks about how my name is actually Davidson, and I just go by David. It's short for Davidson.
Davidson.
That's definitely a lie, though.
The episode's over, by the way. The episode's over. Like, we finished a while ago.